Star Wars has a wide variety of unusual droids, and most of them are endearing in their own way. But the Buzz droid, while certainly an interesting and unique concept, was much more of a nuisance. These vicious little gremlins were well known for their programmed habit of ripping starfighters to shreds. And though they haven't appeared all that much in Star Wars media, they're nonetheless memorable for their 5 minutes of fame in Revenge of the Sith. In this video, we'll be taking an in-depth look at these little buggers, examining what made them so dangerous for their size.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
Before we begin, take a few seconds to guess who made these crafty little droids. They've got a unique, distinctly non-human design that can become little balls for transport, and they're distinctly vicious in unusual ways. In other words, they're right on brand for the Colicoid Creation nest, and if you guess that the Buzz droid came from the same group that manufactured the deadly Droidica, you'd be correct. The Colicoids, for those of you who are unfamiliar with them, were an insectoid species from the planet Coli 4. They somewhat resembled their signature Droidicas, shared their iconic ability to curl up into balls for faster transport, and were typically similarly vicious. The average Colicoid was quite violent, in large part because they were ever-ravenous carnivores that weren't picky about what they ate. They were even known to eat each other in times of stress. Such was their hunger that the Trade Federation actually paid for its original shipments of Droidicas with freighters full of exotic meats for the Colicoids to enjoy, which the insectoids readily accepted. The Colicoids weren't just vicious, however, they were also extraordinarily inventive. The Colicoid Creation nest produced some of the most feared war machines the galaxy had ever seen after all, and they were great at making servant droids and the like as well. Their inspiration for their droids often came from Coli 4's environment, which was full of unique and dangerous creatures that the Colicoids took inspiration from. The Droidica was based on the Colicoids themselves, the Tri-Fighter was modelled on the skull shape of one of Coli 4's most vicious predators, and the Buzz droid was based on the Pisto, a pest from the planet's tropical region. In fact, Buzz droid is just a nickname, much like Destroyer droid for the Droidica. Their real name was the Pistoica Sabotage droid, with Pisto referring to the pest and Ica being the Colicoid word for drone or servant. Buzz droid is easier to say though, so we're going to stick with that name going forward. Anyway, the Buzz droid was actually a refit of an older Colicoid model. When pressed for new droid models midway through the war by the Separatist leadership, the Colicoid Creation nest just took their existing repair droids, gave them some new toys, and reprogrammed them to dismantle ships instead of putting them back together. The result was one of the most feared droid models ever deployed in naval warfare. Each Buzz droid was powered by a small internal reactor located in the main body of the droid, which, naturally, could be primed to self-destruct to inflict even more damage on an enemy craft. Their faces featured 3 photoreceptor eyes, 1 main eye and 2 secondary ones, which provided additional spatial awareness and could double as X-ray sensors. A small antenna mounted on top of their heads provided them with a direct link of nearby central control computers, though they were capable of independent thought and operation. Their main bodies also featured a set of small maneuvering thrusters on their backs, which allowed them to move while still in ball mode. When deployed, a Buzz droid's most noticeable feature was a pair of wing-like armored shells suspended above their heads, which mimicked the wings of the Pisto. These were thin but remarkably durable, made from shock-absorbing materials and coated with a heat-dissipating alloy that allowed the droid to penetrate even the toughest energy shields. The entire droid could curl up into these shells for transport, with only their maneuvering thrusters and eyes poking out through gaps in the armor. Typically, they were deployed in this configuration and remained in it until they had pierced a target craft's shields. When deployed, Buzz droids made use of a single magnetic foot, which allowed the droids to latch onto starship hulls. Typically, they would use their other arms to scuttle around a craft looking for a point to start drilling, and when they found a target site, they would magnetize to the spot, making them near impossible to shake off or detach without extreme measures. Apart from their single legs, Buzz droids had other arms, each of which was tipped with a type of sabotage tool. These could include circular saws, prying hooks, picket and pincer arms, drill heads, and plasma torches. Buzz droids also featured an extendable probe that could interface with a ship's computer. Since the droids were programmed with the stolen schematics of most Republic craft, they usually had an easy time finding vulnerable computer ports. The main tool of the Buzz droid, however, was a large cutting drill mounted just below the eyes. This drill could cut through bomber-grade starfighter armor without much trouble, allowing the Buzz droid access to a craft's more vulnerable parts. Buzz droids were also equipped with a small pair of blasters, one on either side of the central eye. They can be difficult to spot, but they are there, and Buzz droids could use them for self-defense. They didn't seem to use their guns all that much, however, preferring to use their sabotage tools when they needed to fight. Buzz droids were deployed by Discord missiles, large tracking missiles that could be carried aboard most Separatist fighter craft. Capable of accelerating at up to 10,000 Gs and carrying 7 Buzz droids each, Discord missiles were notoriously tricky for Republic pilots to avoid, and they could turn any dogfight into pure chaos. Discord missiles were typically carried aboard tri-fighters, which could carry 6 of them for a total of 42 Buzz droids, but they were sometimes also deployed by Vulture droids, which could carry 4 for a total of 28 Buzz droids. Once launched, Discord missiles would pick a target, overshoot them a little, and then explode, raining Buzz droids down on their unlucky victims. All told, the Buzz droid was a compact but extraordinarily dangerous little droid, built and programmed for absolute mayhem. They seemed to have a love for chaos and a penchant for violence, often going out of their way to break things that they really didn't need to target, as exemplified by Buzz droids killing R4P-17 during the Battle of Coruscant. Though they were designed to be deployed against starships, Buzz droids were also able to pick a fight with infantry, using their tools to dismantle enemy clone troopers, typically with gruesome results. Usually, Buzz droids disabled enemy craft instead of destroying them outright, both to allow the Confederacy to capture the ship and to distract their victims' comrades, who could become preoccupied with rescuing them and thus fall victim to tri-fighters or other Separatist craft. The Buzz droid's usual strategy was to crawl over a ship and attack targets of opportunity, crippling systems in no particular order, often with chaotic results. In every case, however, they would start by taking control of the ship away from the pilot, leaving them unable to do anything about the mechanical gremlins having a field day with their fighter. Buzz droids were introduced around the same time as the Tri-Fighter in 21 BBY, and they made an immediate impact on naval warfare. While the individual activities of the droids didn't make much of a difference, the sheer chaos of Buzz droid attacks left Republic squadrons reeling, allowing other Separatist craft to swoop in and wipe them out. Buzz droids became even more of a nuisance after Darth Sidious supplied the Colicoids with a complete set of Republic starfighter schematics, which they then programmed into their droids. The first known appearance of the Buzz droid was shortly before the Corrida incident in 20 BBY, when a swarm of them attacked D Squad aboard the captured Star Destroyer Renown. They went on to appear in a number of major battles, most notably the defense of Cato Neimoidia and the Battle of Coruscant. At Cato Neimoidia, a swarm of Buzz droids nearly killed Anakin Skywalker himself by disabling his fighter, while at Coruscant, another swarm did the same to Obi-Wan Kenobi. After the end of the Clone Wars, all Buzz droids were reactivated, but billions of them were left behind in Separatist warehouses, many of which were raided by underworld factions. During the Age of the Empire, Buzz droids became a common sight in junkyards, not as scrap, but as scrappers, a job to which they were well suited. They were also commonly used in droid gladiator rings, where they often quite literally ripped their opponents to shreds. Some crime lords were also known for using Buzz droids to dismantle the bodies of their enemies for disposal, sometimes while the victims were still alive. No matter their era then, the Buzz droids spread terror and chaos wherever it went, just as the Colicoids intended. But what do you think? Do you have a greater appreciation for these little guys now? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.